Hi everybody, appreciate you being here. Last week's conversation and discussion was based on the TV replays episode of Mustard. We do know what the mustard is for now, for the Coney Island hot dogs that you guys just got on Mesa and Executive. How about that, huh? Little hand for finding out what mustard is for hot dogs. Told you that last week. That was it was a heck of an experience for our team to go to Ole Miss and play in that environment. One of the loudest games we've ever played in. We went off sides 3 times, 2 of them because I think of the loudness, but compared to last week where we didn't go off sides at all. We played a team that going into the game, I thought we could beat a team that, and they played a lot better than they did against Central Arkansas. A lot better. They were a lot better team than I thought. Their defensive line was much better than we anticipated. Their pass rush was much better than anticipated. Their offense did a great job in misdirections and keeping us off balance defensively where we couldn't just come off the ball like they did. So I think the Mississippi team was a better football team than we anticipated. But we left 24 points on the board too. I mean, on the field. It certainly could have. We've had 2 opportunities as a coach and as a team and a program that have slipped through your fingers. And boy, you just don't like to let that happen. You know, against great teams like that, when you got a chance. I don't know if Mississippi's a great team or not, but when you got a chance to win at Oxford against an SEC team and you let it slip for your fingers, it's not only disappointing, but it's very frustrating. So we're frustrated, and we were extremely disappointed that we let this game slip away. But I think Ole Miss is a good football team, and they're going to win a lot of games. Here's how I looked at the game. We opened the game. We got a chance to throw a comeback and go off a bootleg to Mike, wide open, big play, 50, 60-yard pass. It would have gone for, and we just overthrew it, just a hair. Then we drive down and we get stopped on the 1-yard line. Then we drive down and we throw Carson did a great job, 6 for 7. Nick was 8 for 9, I think, in his first 9 passes or something like that. Carson was 6 for 7 when he went in. And we drive down and we throw a pick in the end zone. Then we drive down again and miss a field goal with 22 seconds to go. 22 seconds, they have the ball. We drive down with 22 seconds on the clock, screaming and yelling, you're down 21-0, and we get in position to kick a field goal. I thought it was a tremendous Mayday offense, which we work on every day, every week. Kids would get just sick and tired of it, but it works, and we're good at it. However, on the other side, 4 plays after we missed the comeback and go pass, they call the same pass on the other sideline and throw it for a touchdown. Then they throw a pass to a back out of the backfield on a wheel route, and for a touchdown. They had thrown that same pass against Central Arkansas the week before, but for some reason, it wasn't on our exchange tapes. We looked and find out where the touchdown, how they scored that touchdown, and it was a running back and catching a pass, and we didn't realize that it was coming out of the backfield like that. So that play was left out somehow of their game tape. However, Andre Patterson was watching Coach Freeze's, the Ole Miss's TV show Friday night in the hotel room, and they showed that play as a touchdown. So Andre went, aha, that was the missing play. So told everybody on defense that, hey, they got this play coming out of the backfield. And so we did know about it, but it was kind of ironic how that worked out, you know. Second, so we're down 21-0 at halftime. Go in, just missed a field goal. Lost those opportunities. We're on the 1 yard line. 4th and 1.5. And we tried a fake run at quarterback keep. The last time we ran it, he could have walked in. We said, and this time it didn't work. So we're down 21-0. Adversity. Some teams would quit. It was awfully one-sided in that stadium. However, and they came out and they ran a reverse and went right down the field with that reverse. Big play for them right off the bat. And then we stopped them. Then they went 3 downs and out, 3 downs and out, 3 downs and out. Our defense really stiffened. Our offense, as soon as we got the ball, we drove right down and scored a touchdown. The next time we got the ball, or a little bit later, going into the fourth quarter, we went right down and scored another touchdown. Got holding on it, and then we ended up with a kick and a field goal. And then they scored 1 touchdown on a halfback pass. It was a halfback pass. Guy rolls out, and everybody comes up. And well, we saw that he was going to be a halfback pass, so everybody backed up. He took advantage of it and wiggled his way down to the 3 yard line, I think, and then they put it in for their 7 points. So we got 10 points in the second half. They got 7 points. So I look at the glass half full rather than half empty. Questions? That's how I saw the game. Special teams guys were, by the way, I got to mention this. Our special teams people, snap, kickoff, punt. How about our punter? Averaged 43 yards, had 2 inside the 20, 2 inside the 10. Every snap was perfect. Every snap was perfect by our snapper. Every punt was caught. Every kickoff was caught, and the decisions were made properly. No penalties in the special teams. Question?
The obvious question, how much did you miss Jeffrey?
How much did we miss Jeffrey? Well, he's our starting tailback, and we missed him. And I thought Autry Golden played very well. Zay Williams can play better than that. He tripped a couple times when he didn't have to, but Autry played very, very well. We would have probably done better had we had Nathan Jeffries in the game. But there's a reason why we didn't have Nathan Jeffries. I don't know how I can explain this any more clearly. He was hurt and injured, and we don't play hurt and injured players. If he could have played, we would have played him. I don't save anybody for next week. It's hard enough to beat anybody. It's hard enough to beat Stony Brook, let alone beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss. So we're not holding anybody out. He couldn't play. He's injured. That's the end of the story. Now, I didn't make a big deal out of it to you guys because they can read, and they knew that Jeffries had not practiced, and they knew that if he was in the game that they were going to try to get him out of the game quickly. They knew that Mike Edwards was coming off a concussion, and they knew that they wanted, that would be an opportunity to try to knock somebody out in the secondary, which they did in Jordan Leslie, but not Mike. So it would have helped. Ray, it would have helped. Everyone would have helped, and if he could have played, I would have played him.
Coach, first 2 games, you're only 10 points scored by the offense. How concerned are you?
I'm not concerned about that particular fact. This was the least points anybody has scored against us when we played a BCS team away. Right, Jeff? Jeff gave me that little tidbit just before we came out here. We got to score more than that. We got to score 28, 30 points a game to win. No question about that. But we had opportunities to do that and didn't do it. If we didn't get down in there, I would be disappointed as heck. I'm frustrated now more than disappointed, but we are going to work on red zone. We are going to work on what we call the orange zone, 10-yard line to the 3-yard line, and we are going to work on 3-yard line into the, we're going to work on that every day. We're not going to be in a position where we get down to the 20-yard line and we don't score a touchdown.
And then another missed field goal, special teams. I mean, it's got to be frustrating.
That is part of our special teams. But protection was solid. Snap was solid. Hold was solid. Our kicker, who has a bad back, Dakota Warren, could not kick anymore and has had a bad back all summer. And if you don't prepare in the summer, and you're not, you got to use the summer to get ready for fall. If you have a great summer, you're going to have a great fall. If you have a lousy summer, something happens, you get injured, like Dakota did, you usually don't have a good fall. Senior, last year, tough. But Steve Valdez came in and he kicked off great and made the field goal in the fourth quarter. And that was awesome.
You talk about execution in the red zone. Were there any particular things that were going wrong there that you're going to work on, that you want to try to get rid of?
Yeah, we made some mistakes down in that area that we're going to correct. No question about that. That's the only thing I think we can do is correct the mistakes we made, analyze what we're doing, and practice the plays that we want to run against New Mexico State down in that area, and execute them and work on them all practice. And it's not going to be like that this year. We're going to be good in the red zone and orange zone.
What do you anticipate Nathan Jeffrey's status is? How close is he?
We'll probably know at game time. Unfortunately, you guys will not be able to know if he practices or not, because practices are closed.
I mean, is he that big a difference maker in the red zone? Is that where he would make the biggest difference?
He kind of makes a big difference wherever he's at.
What are his injuries and how are they coming?
Well, Nathan Jeffries is recovering from the injury, could possibly play this week. We have till Saturday to make that decision. We didn't practice today.
What was the injury?
Huh?
What is the injury?
Groin. And then our special teams captain and backup corner, Adrian James, has a high ankle sprain and he'll be out. Other than that, everything's good to go. Dakota Warren's back is bad. He could be possibly not playing. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes.
Are you adding any more walk-ons at any point?
Yeah, we have, when Census Day is on, we add that. When Census Day is here, which is coming up pretty soon, I think, or today or tomorrow, we have a walk-on tryout where we have 5 or 10 more kids.
Is kicker something else?
Yeah. You're an old soccer guy. Have you got any eligibility left?
On Thursday, you have that soccer class right after.
What am I thinking? There's my recruiting area right there, the soccer class that never puts their goals back. They always leave them on the field, and then we have to move them back. That soccer class? Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously,
I could get a kicker out of them for 8 years of putting their goals away for them.
on your first trip into the red zone, you took 7 runs from inside the 4. Looking at it again, you wish you maybe thrown the ball there at some point. Or did you pretty confident?
Well, we tried throwing the ball down there and threw an interception, so we just got to look at that and analyze that, what we ran and what we didn't run, and can't let that happen. Got to score, dude. Got to score it. We get the ball down in there.
Battle of I-10 this week. How motivated do you think the guys are going to be to get that first win against New Mexico State?
Anything more about the Ole Miss, and we'll get right to that question. Anything about the Ole
So,
Miss?
on the whole, I mean,
Keep me on that because I'm kind of fragmented. You
your
know?
defense gave up a lot of yards. But
Gave
on
up
the
a
whole,
lot of yards.
Are you pleased with 28 points against a team like
Yes.
that?
Pleased that they only got 28 points. We've got to score more than 28 points, I think, to win in Conference USA.
So, I mean, a passing grade for the defense.
They got some long drives against us, which was, but they beat us fair and square, no question about that. But we still left those points on the field, and we can't do that. Anything else on Ole Miss? Did you get a date when you were down there, Brett, by any chance? Huh?
Didn't manage that.
That's all you and Darby talked about, was the Grove, going to the Grove, and we come back with nothing.
I didn't
Okay.
go. I got no excuse.
You have no excuse, or you have an excuse, or you have no excuse. Okay, Aggies. Big game. No question about that. We are, and I need to make sure the players know how important this game is, and I've already visited with them about it. I would like to say, Coach speak, that it's just another game in our list of long games that we play, just another team with a different uniform, but that's Coach speak, isn't it? Because in the neighborhood, the families, the city, it's important for pride between these two schools, alumni, fans, and communities. Whether you're alumni or not, or you're a fan, you want to beat the Aggies. So it's important for our players to know that, and so they understand the history of the spittoon, they understand the history of the spade, all that kind of stuff. Now, knowing the history of the spade and the spittoon, is that going to help you block Dante Savage? I don't know. He's pretty good, or is that going to help you catch up to their wide receiver, Austin, who's faster than blazes? Because you want to beat the Aggies? I don't know. But we definitely know the importance, and I know the importance of this game. Last year's game was unusual to say the best. They took the opening kickoff, drove right down in there on the 1 yard line, and to score with the combinations of running and passing from their quarterback, who's back, Andrew Manley, who's I think really a good quarterback, really a good quarterback. Glad to see him back for him, because of the injury that he sustained against us. But he takes him right down there, and they fumble in the end zone, and we pick up that. And then, they got 3 overthrows that first quarter for touchdowns that are behind us, and they throw the ball over their heads. Had a drive that lasted the opening drive lasted 10 minutes, I think. In the second quarter, 2 field goals by us. We got things going. We were ahead 6-0. We got 2 Manley with a couple of sacks. But with 17 seconds before halftime, they throw a touchdown pass. And they're ahead at halftime, 7-6. So that's not good. So it comes out in the third quarter, both teams miss field goals. They look like they're in command in the third quarter and go up with another field. They make a field goal, 10-6. And then, I don't know who called this play. I have no idea who called this play, but similar, I think it was similar to the first game we played this year. It was about 2 minutes to go before the fourth quarter. Ball's kind of at midfield around 30 yard line. Some guy called a fake punt. And and it went 60 yards down the field and got down to the 6-yard line, scored a touchdown, went up 13-10. Could someone please tell me who made that call? Just kidding. Okay, so now we miss another field goal in the fourth quarter, and gosh, with a minute to go in the game, we fumble the ball. Guard hits the quarterback's hands, fumbles the ball out. They recover it. Great position. One of the last 2 or 3 games of the plays of the game, their quarterback drops back and plants his back leg, and boom, his leg goes out, his knee goes out, and he's out for the rest of the year. We recover the fumble, we win. So it was a highly contested game last year. Well put behind us. It won't happen again because these are 2 different teams than there was last year.
Coach, in Oklahoma and Ole Miss, the secondary's giving us some long plays. New Mexico State, they like to throw the deep ball. How do you address that issue getting ready for the Aggies?
Practice. He loves to throw the deep ball. They've got 3 really good receivers, Bateman, Austin, and Brown. Brown, they think, is their best route runner. Hasn't caught the ball much. It's basically been Bateman and Austin, and Austin is fast. I mean, he is fast. So he's a real good punt return guy, and Manley's definitely a quarterback that will drop back and throw the ball deep. He looks deep first, and they've connected on it. I think Austin caught 3 touchdown passes in their first game that were all long. Running backs are real good, Clay, but number 23, who is second team, help me with this. How do you pronounce his? Mustafa. Number 23, Mustafa, is, wow, what a kickoff guy he is. He is really good, really good. Huge threat. And so we've got to watch him. I think he's only had 10 carries or something like that, but let's hope they don't get to him. Ole Miss, their starter was number 1, and then number 3 came in the game, and he killed us, their backup tailback. Brian Bodine, back at linebacker, playing really well. Dante Savage, who got hurt last year coming off a knee injury, is a tremendous football player, big-time player. He'll be an NFL guy. And B.J. Adolfo, their other linebacker, has been there every single year, playing full out 100%. So that's kind of those are the people to highlight on their offense and defense.
Is this a better team than they were a year ago?
It's a better team than they were a year again. I think Walker's doing a great job. Their team looks like a major college football team, like a BCS team. They look great in their uniforms, and they're not over heavy. They're big. Their receivers are good size. They can run. They're fast. They got speed. They all look very athletic. He's done an excellent job in recruiting, I think.
Is this maybe the best team they've had since maybe the Holbrook era? Maybe the best team they've had?
Yeah, yeah. It could be. It could be. Manley could be that type of quarterback. He didn't get a chance last year, because after our game he didn't play. So he's sure starting out good. It could be one of the better teams they've had.
Coach, at their media day, they said this is a game they circled on their calendars. I know you obviously had some big games this year, but I mean, you said you were going to explain the rivalry to the guys, but do you think this is the game they're going to get up for the way that these guys are getting ready for it?
They better. If we don't, we're going to have our hands full. If we do get up for them, we're going to get up for them. This team, our team is tough, physical. They love the game. They're going to get up for every game. Getting up is not going to be a problem for this team this year. We're just not that kind of players. We that kind of team. They love the game and they're excited to play every week. Have plenty of energy. So this shouldn't be any different than that. The way that they played in our first game, I was thinking, whoa, let's turn down the dial here a little bit. We're getting a little bit too hot and emotional. We want energy, not necessarily emotion, you know. And we've got energy, and we'll be ready to play.
What are you expecting out of the fans?
What am I expecting out of the fans? To cheer loud for us, and the same thing I expected out of our players and everyone associated with this game. It's a great rivalry. Get fired up, cheer for your team, but use good sportsmanship. Again, good sportsmanship. Let's not let it get out of hand. A lot of fun, great rivalry, but we need to remember sportsmanship. For the 9th time, I've said that, and I don't think it's ever been printed or in tape or on the radio or on television. It's just not newsworthy. Sportsmanship isn't. Is it?
Should this game sell out every year, regardless of the records of each team, just because of the history of the rivalry? In your opinion, should we see a sold-out crowd?
I'd like to see that. Obviously, we would. We'd like to see that, and I'm sure we're going to get a great crowd. I'm surprised if we don't. I don't know what a sellout would be, or if we can get that or not. But would help if we were 2-0.
Does the record 0-2, does that create an extra sense of urgency in addition to everything else?
No, I don't think so. If we were playing somebody else, it might. Right.
Coach, you played so tough against 2 great teams. That must build your confidence.
Yes, it does.
You being confident and strong and ready to go. I mean,
Yeah, I agree, Ray. I think that's going to build our confidence. I think we have, again, smart football team, one of the smartest teams we've ever had, one of the strongest teams we've ever had, and one of the best character teams we've ever had. With that being said, I'm going to say the same thing I said 9 years ago when I got the job here. It's the coach's, inside every player is a winner. It's the coach's responsibility to reach down in there and grab that out of them. I think every player on our team is a winner. We just haven't proven it yet. And they believe in what we're doing, and they have faith. And faith, in my definition, is belief without evidence. We haven't provided the evidence to other people on the scoreboard of the belief that we have that we can win. Our kids still believe they can win. Okay, Brett and Jeff, I think I hope that you do a better job than you did last week with the girls coming down from Las Cruces.